All right. I wanted to talk about the Live Nation, and maybe we'll have to do that at another time. But let's tease that story, so we will link to it and people can check it out. You went to
we'll tease it for the Prospect Weekly Roundup for Thursday. We'll just get people excited about it.
Is it on Thursday?
I'm sorry, on Fridays.
Fridays, well, Thursdays.
12:30.
People should tune in on Thursdays.
Eastern time.
Thursdays. Tune in on Thursdays for the.
Look, as long as they're not tuning in to the Majority Report,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter to me what day it is.
Well, if you want to hear more about this Live Nation thing, you'll be able to watch it on demand on the Prospects channel. But give us just sum it up for us. Use the napkin as a sum up for us, because it was really that was pretty amazing.
It's unbelievable. So, look, Live Nation is under antitrust investigation. The Justice Department probably within weeks is going to file a lawsuit against them. There's legislation in Congress that is looking at not only ticketing markets, but the way that Live Nation, which is a dominant player in ticketing, in event management, in artist promotion, in venue operations, the way that their business practices go, the Congress is looking at, dismantling those. So they need friends, right? And so who do they go to when they need friends? They go to DC Insider Media. So one thing that is a little less understood around, everybody knows about the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and there's this glitzy affair in Washington where the media elite and the political elite and a bunch of celebrities get together and they have a laugh or two. But there's now a whole week of events around the Correspondents' Dinner where these media outlets throw parties that they invite people to. And Axios is one of these DC kind of insider media organizations. And they threw two parties last week around the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
That's amazing.
And Live Nation was the co-host of both of these events. And so you mentioned napkins. So I was passed a picture of the cocktail napkins at one of these events, which, by the way, Jelly Roll performed at, who is an artist. Live Nation produces his concerts, his tours.
No, wait a second. So am I to understand you were not at any of these parties?
They had security locked down pretty tight, and so the Prospect did not get into any of these parties.
But you were not invited.
I was not invited. But
they don't get the heavy hitters in DC.
I obtained this cocktail napkin, and the napkin was lobbying. Basically, the napkin said on it. I don't have the exact quote.
I have it. It's fans paid on average $38. This is what it's a picture of a napkin. Can you get this, Bradley, and put it up there?
Yeah. Picture of
Bradley, it's a picture of the napkin. It says Live Nation in the corner, and it says fans paid an average of $38 an hour an entry-level U.S. concert ticket in 2023. So the idea is basically to let all of the reporters know, man, it is cheap to see a show these days. Here, we just put it up.
Yeah, there we go.
And incidentally,
to let the reporters know, to let the political types who are there know, to let the staffers know, that's who goes to these things, that it's not a big deal. Now let's break that down, right? Doesn't say Live Nation concerts, it just says concerts, right? It says entry level ticket. I have no idea what that means. Is that the obstructed view seats in an amphitheater?
Couldn't it just mean $5 at the local bar to come and see anybody play or something?
It could be something with a $10 cover charge. So it's a meaningless statistic. It's a ridiculous statistic. You can't talk to the statistic. It's a napkin. You can't exactly get more information from it to understand the context of it. And there were other napkins that had other quotes on it, by the way. It's just sort of seeding the propaganda environment for Live Nation. And this is part of and I say this in peace, this is part of an overall process. Live Nation, about 5-6 years ago, had 4 lobbyists in Washington. They now have 37.
Wow.
25 of those are former staffers. Two of those are former members of Congress. One of them is the former chief of staff to Amy Klobuchar, who's the biggest critic of Live Nation in Washington.
That's
So there
amazing.
is this huge blitz, millions and millions of dollars in lobbying to try to manage the information environment, right, around an imminent lawsuit against the company, and also this potential legislation, which is bipartisan and actually has some momentum behind it.
Well, folks can hear more about this both by, and we will link to your piece at the American Prospect and on the roundup that you do sometime during the week. And I will also say that that napkin gave me a great idea, because when I'm gonna print up a bunch when Saul has his bar mitzvah, and I'm still working on like what I'm gonna put on the
That's
the
a great
napkin.
idea. It
But
should just
maybe
be
like,
the Live Nation napkins.
well, or I could
maybe
do
you can
that
buy them
one,
somewhere.
or I could just remind people, how much this dinner cost or something like that. I don't know. There'll be a bunch of, but it's I feel like it's an underutilized tool in which to
Absolutely
shape people's
look,
perspective on things.
you don't have to pay additional expenses for napkin lobbyists. You don't have to worry about whether they're going to stay on message. It's going to be clear. It's going to be right there in front of you. You're going to get access. I think napkin lobbying is a next frontier.
I don't know why we don't have Majority Report napkins on our merch page, frankly. And we're gonna this is gonna be the start of something new. But David Dayen, always a pleasure. Executive editor at the American Prospect. Again, we'll put links to both pieces on Live Nation and what the FTC's latest rulemaking will mean or may mean going forward. Always a pleasure.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.